Good morning, good afternoon to the two of you who have joined. Heather and Jennifer, how are you?
Good, Terry. How are you?
Good, doing good. I don't have Andy with me yet, but hopefully he'll come on soon. If not, I will do my best to help with any questions that y'all have. So as you know, this is live broadcasted on my YouTube channel. So everything that you share is will be publicly visible. So keep that in mind. But we are happy to help however we can. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And if you have a specific flow question that you're struggling with, welcome, RC. Please go ahead and you can either throw those in the chat window or you can unmute and share your question, and I'll see what we can do to help you out.
I do have one.
Okay, Heather, go ahead.
I am having internet issues, so I'm hoping my
Okay.
signal works for this.
All right. So far, good.
It's been hell for the week, so hotspot is not enough.
I hear you.
Okay. Alrighty. So I am working on a situation where I need to send the possibility of a chatter message on when there's an op split. So a split opportunity.
Okay.
I had it where I was just sending it to the owner, but I also need to send the messages to the split AM.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So I got a get records for the additional split AM and the split SD.
Okay.
Which I can show you here.
And those are just going after the opportunity team. Okay, team member. Yeah. All right, we're based off of their role. Okay.
And not equal to the owner, because occasionally the owner becomes the same title. So I was trying to rule them out. And so I did the similar thing for the SD.
Yep.
But what I am unable to do is get them into this chatter message. When it was a single one, I was able to do it.
Okay,
but
so now it's a collection.
Ones, yeah, now I'm stuck, and I've been trying to use the internet, and I'm not getting to where I need to be. So
okay,
I made my first loop, and so the collection variable is this supposed to be the get?
Well, let me back you up just a little bit. Okay. I'd like to see the chatter post first, that action that you have it done toward the bottom.
So I have this using a text template.
Okay.
Which comes to and I had to take off the other one because when it was a single, it worked. And when it was a double or multiple, I've taken it off because it wouldn't let me save my work, and I was frustrated and I had to turn it off.
Okay.
Where is my text templates?
You can
right here.
There you go.
So this is where I'm doing the FYI to the owner, requesting for the manager, and then I had another FYI of op split AM and then op split SD. But I need to have an ID, and I can't figure that part out.
Okay, so you're just trying to mention then the other two players.
Yes.
And is it just two people, or is it a full collection of names?
It could be, like, if it was just a single, I got that one and it made it work, but it could be two other people. So you could have a split between three versus just two, and that's
trying to think how we would put that into the chatter post, because you are going to have to mention each of them individually. Andy, I see that you've joined as well, so if you have any thoughts on how we pull this together. She's got to send the chatter post to multiple people, and so at the beginning of the flow we're gathering those people, But we then need to mention them down there when we post that chatter. So I'm kind of I'm wondering if in that text template, if we could create a string of those app mentions and then put that in kind of a variable form and then plug that variable into your text template. I don't know if Chatter will pick that up or not, but it's we certainly can't do an app mention to a collection. That's not going to
Okay.
go in there, right?
That's what I'd gotten from the community of, hey, you can do this, and I couldn't.
I don't know how you'd pull that off. Because of the way Chatter would work. I mean, Chatter's got an app mention, and then it has to be a user.
Yeah, I think you are posting to Chatter a string anyway, and then inside that string you have the at notation, and then after the at, if Chatter recognizes that, then it's going to be a link automatically, I think, right?
That's what I'm thinking and hoping too, Andy. Yeah.
And
so
that's where the person I think was talking about doing it as a text variable instead of a record. Does that sound like it makes sense at all?
You just really need that person's name, though, I think, in that Chatter at mention piece. And so let's do a couple of things here. The first thing I'd like to do is I'd really like to combine both of those gets into a single get. That will give you a single collection that we can then loop through. So if you go open up that first one and add another condition that is team member role equals, was it op split? Was it DM? I forget what you had for the other value.
Yeah.
SD. Okay.
Team member.
Otherwise, we'll have to combine both of these gets together in order to do it. I think we may have to do it. And I'm not positive this will work, but it may give you something to try. So team member role, there it is, equals split. Okay, cool. And then
I have to say that the manager is not their manager, or do I?
As far as the, is that also one of the conditions on the other
I
one?
had that on the other one, so that it's
then
not
go
the
ahead
same.
and add that.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, don't you need to change that and to or?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Yeah, good call out. We will do that.
No problem. Thank you.
ID. Okay.
So above where you have your filters, there's a condition requirement. Yeah, change that to the or. Actually, change it to custom. Yeah. And you're going to do 1 and 2 and 3, or 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay.
And put parens. Go ahead and put parens around 1, 2, and 3. You'll be able to clean this up later. I'm going to give you the easiest way to get it built
I'm good with that.
And then you can clean it up later. So apologies for those that are really picky about how these are done, but then I would just put in parens again, 1 and 2 and 4 and 5.
Oh, okay.
Again, you can do that more.
I didn't know you could do that. That makes sense.
You can do it more effectively than just that, but that'll be your easy answer for today.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Go ahead and click done. And now you can get rid of the other get statement, which is good to do. You don't want to go after records any more than you have to.
Let me get rid of this one first.
I think you needed to include 5 in the first parenthesis also.
Oh, did it need?
It applies.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. So, if you need to clean that up,
Yeah.
You can clean that up. Hopefully, you understand the get piece of it and how that part works.
So the ID for the manager is equal to this one.
It's only for the SD.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump out of that. Now, inside your loop, what I'm thinking we need to do is create a text variable that we're going to just simply continue to add to that text. So do an assignment inside there.
All righty.
I'm kind of thinking out loud as we do this, so I may get it wrong. So if when I go ahead and give it a label, assign, this is going to be, what do you call those people that are in your loop? The opportunity split?
Yeah.
Split team?
Split team.
Okay. And then for the variable, let's do a new variable, new resource. It will be a variable. Type is, and this is going to be your split team. Let's just say split team text or app mention string, whatever, something.
Got it.
And then your data type is going to be a text. And then done.
Allow or no?
No, we don't. I don't think we want this to be a collection. What we're going to do is just create a string of that's going to be at mention the person's name, comma, at mention the next person's name, comma, till we get them listed off.
And the great way of testing that is just, to do like a fixed one, take
You
the
could.
value.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, I like that approach too. That would tell you whether or not this method's going to work, right?
Exactly. Before you go
Yeah.
through all the loop, just
Yeah,
assign the values like manually here and then post, see if that's going to work.
Yeah, that's true. Because otherwise we're going to go through some effort here and we don't know if it's going to work or not.
Mhm.
How would I do that?
So go ahead and use that variable that you just created. And actually, we would want to skip this loop entirely, wouldn't we, Andy?
Bob? I mean, is that what you're looking for, or just a solid?
Yeah,
text?
you're going to need to put in at Bob, whatever his last name is, comma, at Jill, whatever her name, assuming there's a Jill, whatever.
Okay.
Create a couple names, just doing it as a string, at their name, comma, at another valid user's name, and then inside of your text template, you're going to then reference this string, and that
Actually, probably shouldn't give my own name.
and then let that post to Chatter and see if that will correctly mention those people in your Chatter post. If it
Okay.
works, then all you're going to need to do is inside that loop, create that same string from your get.
So you
list of
get like
people.
their at full name, comma.
Yeah, and it probably would honestly be easier to set that at person's name up as a formula field that you can then just do an add to your variable from here with the formula field as your value. So it'd be split team member,
Okay.
and then add. I hope. Actually, is add even going to be an option? Look at the operator real quick. Yeah, add.
Yeah,
is.
there is
Okay.
add. There is add.
Great. Yeah. So it'd be operator as an add, and then you'd have your formula field that concatenates an at sign, the person's name, and then a comma at the end of their name.
Do I have to, okay, so formula. Concatenate.
But I like Andy's idea to try it as just a.
Okay. Do I need to put
handwritten
those
string.
brackets like in the chatter message? You have to do like the square brackets, these? Do I have to include those to make this work, or?
I don't know. You may have to try that to see if it doesn't work without them. Try it with it
Okay.
and see if that will get you where you need to go. But does the concept that we're trying to explain make sense to you?
So, yes, but how do I get their name then out?
You're gonna get-
of,
So I would probably set up a formula field. So if you go to the left hand over there in your toolbox to a new resource type formula. And I would just, again, give it a name. It doesn't, and then data type is text. And then in your insert resource is your is the loop in there, the current
Should
loop.
be. The split AM.
That's the type in loop and just see what shows up there. Yeah, current item from loop. There it is. And that then you should be able to get to their username from there. All right, it's not going to be their username, it'll be their full name, or it may be, well, yeah, it's probably just going to be opportunity team member name. That first one.
Oh,
And then-
did I
yeah.
choose that one, or did I choose?
I don't know. I'm not sure which one you chose, but the first part of this then is simply going to be your at, and I think you're going to have to do it in quotes if I recall, but it'll be a
Okay, yeah,
quote at, and then plus that,
There we go.
plus the name.
I chose the different one there. Wait a minute. Oh God.
Yeah, it kind of threw it right in the middle of your other one.
Damn it. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. But the formula, the intent of the
Okay.
formula is just to get the syntax correct for each individual person's name.
Okay.
And then
this
inside
is-
in that assignment that we have, you'll just be able to reference the formula field. And it'll
So
plug
that's
that
where you
all
put
in
the
for you.
at square bracket thing.
Yeah, and you'll probably have to, I don't know if it's going to require a comma or not in there to, it might be a space at the end of it, I'm not sure. But the concept hopefully is making sense for the way you'd go about solving that.
Okay.
And then
So
click
then
done.
I just take the assignment, take the name from the current.
Y-
um,
yeah. That's, so your split team mention, that's going to go into your text template. Here, you're going to use the operator add, sorry. It's the same 3 letters, wrong word.
I'm gonna
So it'd be
create a
add and
different
then
one
that
just so I
variable.
have that to test the solid, and then, okay, add to team.
And if you want to play with it, we can go to the next question and we can come back to you if you get stuck, if you want to try to do some work on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it seems like the syntax is something like this. Like the at square brackets, full name, square brackets. So we need to
Oh,
reproduce that. I think if we do that, it's gonna automatically match and link it.
Yeah, so that's what you'd want then as your formula format.
So,
Yeah, so your value here is just going to be calling that formula field. So this is team group, I think is what you called it,
yeah, I think so. Team group.
and then done.
Okay.
So
I just
give that a try. You also update your text template, because your text template now is going to need to bring in that what I forgot the variable that we just created, but you'll need to bring that
There's
string
A
of,
syntax error on that team group formula. So it doesn't like,
yeah.
is
So
it because I had the at around it?
you might have to put quotes, I think, on that formula field and to get things to concatenate together correctly. So a quote at open bracket, and then a quote again, plus your merge field.
Oh, quote at,
Quote, yep, plus
oops.
the other plus. And then at the end, you'll want a plus quote after the merge field.
Okay, plus quote.
So you need to go back to after you have split am loop.
Oh,
name.
I see.
Yeah,
Yes.
right there.
So then square bracket,
try that. Couldn't tell if you had the same, if you're using double quotes or single quotes, but
I was using double.
okay, as long as you're consistent, I think it'll work.
Okay.
And that's
All right.
saved. So again, why don't we move on to the next question, play with it, see if it works. If not, come back
Thank you.
and let's see what happens, what we can do to move forward from there.
One tip I'd like to share related to this, I just remembered, sometimes it's hard to remember to test things outside Flow. You'll get these questions and folks will say, you know what, when I do this inside Flow, it doesn't work. When I email inside my Flow, the email doesn't get delivered, or the chatter post doesn't get posted. And one of the first questions I usually ask is, well, does the email get sent outside the Flow?
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer is that the email deliverability is off, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Good call out.
And so then I would be adding
Yes.
the formula then to here.
Yeah, it's not the formula at that point, but it's your string of names.
Oh, so the split team mentioned, not just the.
Yeah, it's this. Yeah, I think split team mention is the right one that you were
Okay.
building.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Yeah, no, that was that's a good one. Now, if you're going to test it just right with a straight string of values like what we have in that first assignment, you'll want to get rid of your loop and take that first assignment out outside the loop, because you don't need the loop if you're just going to hard code in some names to test it with.
Okay.
So I'd probably just delete that one since you went ahead and set it up doing the actual names.
Okay.
And if this doesn't work, then I think go back and try to do it with some by manually creating a string of names and see if you can get it to go that way.
Okay.
That would at least tell us what the right syntax is, and then we can mimic that as we go through the actual loop.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool.
Thank you.
That was an interesting one. All right, next up.
Hey,
Hey,
this is Jennifer.
Jennifer. Hey, how are you?
Thanks for being here, both of you.
Absolutely.
I have asked this question before, and I don't know if I asked it wrong or if I'm just not following, but back to concept. Here's my record. I have a parent, and I'm pulling all the parents in date range. Then I want to look for not the child, but the grandchild. If the grandchild is in a date range and all the grandchilds on this are complete, then I want that parent. Does that make any sense?
What do you want the parent to do?
We're going to check a box. So what we're going to do is we're building a purge flow. So we can get rid of all the SR records. This is a request. Somebody came in and asked for help paying their utility bill.
Okay.
We can get rid of this request if it's a certain date range, if it's more than 5 years old, and all the checks that were helping that person get assistance, all those checks are marked complete. So this record would not qualify.
Yeah, because you got the one on hold.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm working with a Flow Smarty, and he and I can't figure this out, how to go from a parent to a grandchild and back to the parent again.
I'm not seeing where the grandchild, I guess, is coming in, because you've got a parent with vendor checks related to that. That looks like parent child to me.
This is actually the child here is financial emergency. The vendor checks are related to the financial emergency, and the financial emergency is
okay.
related
I'm
to
with
the
you.
service request.
So yeah, we don't, that details is the child, not the.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry, the label there with parent
This
was for
shows
me.
it all.
The parent is that other.
What are
record.
the
That's what-
relationship types? Is that master detail?
Oh, Andy. Let's see, that's production.
That's a great question.
It's production again. What is going on?
Yeah, go to vendor checks in your object manager. Show us that. And there's got to be a relationship record there, the relationship field. And that should be look up master detail to financial emergency. Okay.
Oh.
So you can have, you're trying to cache the old records, right?
Yes, yes, the old SRs where all the grandchildren are complete and in a certain date range.
Okay, so you can have, and you're gonna need to think about this based on the way you operate, but you can have, you can grab a date field on your vendor checks and use a roll up to your SR
Okay,
to get the most recent date with the maximum roll up
okay,
and filter based on complete. That's going to give you a timestamp on, you know, what was the last time you helped this person, right?
yep,
So based on that, you can make certain decisions as to whether you need to act on that record or not. Is it old, right?
see, here's the kink in the works is all vendor checks associated with this service request have to be complete.
Okay.
So this, I wouldn't want this service request returned.
But the service request is what we're deleting, or is it the financial emergency record?
We're gonna wind up deleting them all.
So the service request could also have multiple financial emergencies underneath it.
Yep.
Which then could have multiple vendor checks as well.
Yep. Exactly. Is this something that has to be done with code?
No. It'd be easier probably if a person
Okay.
knew how to code.
That's fair, Carrie. That's fair. I just thought,
I'm kind of questioning if there's a way to do this with roll-up summaries as well. Is that kind of where your head's going, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking on that vendor check, you basically have a formula field that returns a checkbox, a true false, that says this vendor check meets the conditions to be deleted.
interesting.
And
Okay.
then from your child record, it's almost kind of like you're using a bit of a power of one type model.
Yeah. You can do it that way, or like I said, you can use the most recent date or the oldest date on the records that actually fit the
complete.
filter criteria. Like if it's going to be either all completed or all not completed, depending on your use
Right.
case, you can carry that up.
Mhm.
Okay. You know, 2 roll-up summaries makes a lot of sense to me. One counts all vendor checks and one counts only complete vendor checks. And then if those number equal,
Oh, that would work too.
then evaluate dates and go for, okay.
Yeah.
See, this
That
is
would
what
work.
happens. This is what happens when I talk to smart Salesforce people. That's awesome.
But you could do it in flow. It's just going to be a lot of looping and checking of records. It'd be
Yeah, okay.
or I suppose you could do maybe even a filtered.
Yeah, to grab them all and
Collection to
then
find it.
filter the collection. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be a way to pull it off too. But it
Really
seems to
neat
me
way
like
to
the
look at
flow's
that.
overkill.
That's a really neat way to look at that. Thank you, guys. Thank you both.
Awesome.
Welcome.
You may have helped us solve a big problem.
Thank you.
Good deal.
My tiny little nonprofit thanks you.
Other questions from those that have joined? And if you were on the chat on YouTube, feel free to throw a message in the chat window there, and we'll try to help you there as well. We have a fairly small turnout today.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's small, because everybody's talking about flow.
And when I've been out and about, I consistently hear about it as well. So it's all good. All right. Anybody else have any questions that you'd like some help with? Let's see, Heather, was that you that started us off?
Yeah, and
How's
it's
it?
it's
How
not
you doing?
it's not pulling up.
It's not
So,
pulling.
It's
up
not
into-
pulling up the names into the chatter message. So I'm missing.
Okay, so that tells me then the formula is probably not right. We're probably using
I
the
tried
wrong.
to change the name in the formula to see if it needed like the team member name versus the opportunity person name,
Yeah.
but
And
and then I
we
tried
just used it
adding a
straight.
comma after the second square bracket, but that
Yeah, I think we're probably grabbing the wrong field for the name. I don't know if I've got an org that has opportunity teams in it. Let me see.
because I mean it's not including anything after the owners.
That's why it sounds like we're pulling the wrong thing. And
And the ID wouldn't work. Doing the
Yeah, it's
user
expecting
ID.
user ID.
you think it's the user ID that might be?
Yes,
So
right
do
here.
like the
I found the page
Opportunity
for it.
team member ID, maybe?
Pull up this page. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So if it's a group, it's going to be reference ID for the group. If it's a person, it needs to be a user ID.
Yeah,
if-
and
if-
that's how I
if-
have the owner in there. It's his ID or their ID.
It's actually at square bracket and then the curly brackets.
Yep.
Exclamation user ID. It has to be in that format.
And that's where I was running into the issue. I couldn't get their ID, but pulling this way, that might have,
Feel free to share your screen again too if it's helpful.
sure. Boop, boop, boop. I would love, there we go.
I'm looking to see what the data model looks like for opportunity team member, so we know what field we will need.
So, oops, that's adding the assignment.
Are you using it is opportunity team member, right? Not opportunity contact role.
No, opportunity team member, yes.
Okay.
And so right now I just added this ID. So I take this out for the moment.
It should be
and-
user ID is, I think, is going to be the person's name. So yeah, you'll want user ID.
And it's not the team member ID, it's actually
No,
user
no,
ID. Okay.
User ID.
Mhm.
There you go.
All right.
Wait, what are those pluses?
That
Oh,
is
wrong spot.
concatenating it together. Is that not needed on a?
No, actually, when we are concatenating text together, we need to use
An
and. there.
and
Yeah. And no, single and.
just single and.
Single
Oh,
and.
Okay. Sorry, formulas, it's either and
I
or
know,
two of those.
I know. I always have to go and look it up every single time I do them.
All right, and I
Okay.
put the comma here at the end after the second square
You
bracket.
can. I don't think you need to, but you can. Could be space too, I think, but it's up to you.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I just
yeah,
figured if there was something, it would need it, and if it's not needed, then it's just a comma.
yeah. I
Right?
trust Andy's thought on that. I think he's probably right. It's probably overkill. but I would
you
have
can put-
something there.
I mean, you can add characters, whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want it to be right.
Yeah, I think you're going to need at least a space.
Okay. All right. So save as new version. Oh, geez. Okay. Activate. And close the curtain to try again. I tried to move it into a another
No, it's fine.
sandbox and
Understood.
okay, fingers crossed.
Our fingers are crossed with you, so we'll see.
I'm trying to get rid of the massive amount of emails we send. I don't think people are paying attention to them anymore.
You don't have chat? You don't have Slack?
No, we have WebEx Teams, or now just WebEx. Slack looks cool, but there's no way I can convince our management to look that way.
I'm finding I've got a handful of clients as well that having that same challenge, although Slack is darn cool.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Andy, where you have any speaking events coming up anywhere that you're going to be?
So
While she's testing that out.
FlowFest is coming up next week, folks. So
Oh,
FlowFest is a good one. It's a virtual event. And after that, I think Southeast Dreaming is coming at the end of month.
are you speaking there?
Yeah.
I assumed you would be. Yeah.
And next month, I'm starting the architect group in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, you are. Nice.
And this is the first time I'm sharing this. I was able to get the commitment from Antoine Cabot, who is the head of orchestrator in Salesforce. And he does the Slack automation and whatnot. So we're going to squeeze him to talk about dangerous safe harbor stuff. So that'll be mid-June,
Okay.
15th of June.
Very nice.
It did not work.
Okay, what'd you get?
Just the owner name, nothing else. So nothing else happened after the formula or in the text variable.
Okay. Can you run this in debug mode? What I'd like to confirm is that we are getting that text template set up right, or even that we're adding the names correctly to our formula.
Okay.
So you just select an opportunity, probably that you'd run this against.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
There's a question. Are you speaking at Florida Dreaming? I don't know if Terry is going. I'm definitely going, but their speaker submission form is not even up, so I don't know whether I'll be speaking. But I'll definitely submit.
Yeah. Yeah, I will not be there. I'll be at Midwest Streaming coming up. I've got a user group that I'll be speaking at next month. And then I've had an invite to speak with one of the Salesforce MVPs on a streaming event. I'm not sure when that's going to be yet, but
Which Dreaming is that one?
David Geller is doing one, and he had asked if I could join him on next week on one, and I just didn't feel like I could pull it together quite that fast. So he and I'll do something coming up soon, but
Cool.
yeah, should be good.
Okay. Found a nice test
All right. Ah, good. Good deal.
opportunity.
Cool, cool, cool. So just go ahead and select whatever we have to do here to get it to run. If it's just nothing, just
That's
go ahead
where,
and hit
because I
run.
go to a related list to
Oh,
do
to
that.
trigger it.
Mhm. So how does that work when you're trying to do this?
You'd have to have that related list as a external ID or as an external ID for it to show up. And
Yeah, because like the names will show up in here once it's there, but you
Yeah,
don't
hit-
put them in here.
can you? You
I
may
can
have
run
trouble
it. I mean, I
with
can
it. Yeah.
activate this.
Can you run it on that one? If
Yeah,
is
that
it safe to
you can
show?
see that one. Mhm.
What I really was
Uh,
hoping to see
oops, did I
is
see
the
this?
debug log so we could verify that each of our variables are being correctly built as we go through it.
Is there a place to see that? Oh, activate.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay, so we're here. Can you see it once you run it and then go into a debug log, or?
No, we would have to do that. So let's, so can you show me on that record what you have to do to trigger it?
Sure. All right. So I'm going to add.
Oh, it's actually another opportunity split that you're adding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because doing this and then hitting save
And then
checks
it
the
runs.
op split flag, and that's
Got
what
it.
triggers the approval request.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, that one is going to be hard to set up as a debug, I think. Go ahead and can't discard the changes. Let's try something else because since we don't have anybody else begging for some help, so let's go ahead and see if we can't solve this for you.
For anyone else that's
Can you go
trying
to-
to add multiple people to a chatter.
Yeah. I like it. It's kind of an interesting use case. So go ahead and slide up to the. I want to see the top of your flow.
Mhm.
Record trigger. Okay, it's opportunity. So we're starting from an opportunity, and we need it to be that because that's the record you're actually writing back to, right?
Yes.
So let's. Can't change that. And I bet opportunity teams isn't even an option here. That's a record trigger flow. Let's do this. Let's scroll back down underneath the loop. And let's do a add. Yeah. Do you have like a description field or something that we can just plug some values into on that opportunity record? So if we were to do
Yeah.
all right, so let's try to do this then. Do update triggering record and just update test, whatever you want to call it. And the field, let's do the description field on that opportunity. And I want you to put the value would be the, I think we called it split team mention. And click done. Okay, run it like that and let's see what we get.
Okay, so activating.
Yeah,
that way?
unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know any. I imagine some smarter than me people probably would be able to tell us how we could run a debug on that. But it's kind of a unique one given that we're having to activate it. Our flow is running from the opportunity, but it's triggered from something else. So it's triggered from that team member split.
Hard part was I had it working, but it works if it's a single person.
Well, and it's probably because it's not having to pull the opportunities. Oh, well, wait a minute. I hear what you're saying. I think we
Yeah, if it was a single person, you do one, you grab their ID,
and
you add
that
it,
was good.
and I was good.
Yeah, let's see what we're getting in our. My guess is we're just not getting it, that formula field set up right. We're doing something that's not quite what it wants to be. Now that's interesting. Did you get a flow error message email by chance?
I think emails are down right now for my sandbox, so I don't know if I would get it.
Okay. Well, we're striking out on too many fronts here.
That's weird
So-
though. There's got to be something up with her setup right now. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna make myself the owner. My counterpart's working on things, so she may have had to make an adjustment. Or no, I'm gonna make another account manager. There we go. Because I wasn't getting any errors except for her.
Okay.
So.
Okay, cool. That worked too. So let's look at that opportunity description field. Do we get anything in it? We did not. All
No.
right. Refresh that page just for
I can
grins.
see, and that's
just to
where
make sure. Oh yeah, you see that part of it there. Okay. I don't want to try to troubleshoot something just because of it didn't refresh, but let's
Yeah.
verify. I'm gonna guess it's still blank. Okay, let's go back to your flow. And let's look at the assign to team, the add to team, yeah. So split team, add team group. Team group is that formula. Hit cancel. That part to me looks.
am I grabbing the
right.
wrong? Okay.
Now that part I think is okay. Let's look at that formula one more time, the team group.
Okay.
What's fascinating is we're not even seeing the brackets, empty brackets in there. So that part looks fine as well. Click done. What's the variable that we are adding these into that's in that add to teams? What was that one called? Was that split team dimension?
Yes. Split team mention.
Okay.
Adding it to team group, and that's our formula. Okay.
Yes. Cancel that. And then let's look at the variable split team mention. Let's set a, for the default value, can you put just quote in there? Or no, you don't have to do that. Do, is it empty space, I think. I want to set it to something.
Okay.
I think it's called empty space.
And when you mean empty
sorry,
space, it's
sorry.
just,
Yeah, go back into where you get the filter, the lookups. Type in, I think it's empty. There'll be a constant. There you go. Empty string.
oh, okay. Not just an empty space.
Yeah, sorry. I couldn't off the top of my head, I wasn't remember that right. that will instantiate that variable so that it at least it's been created. Let's do this for fun. Click save, or yeah, go ahead and save. Don't activate it yet. I want to change the add to team piece. I want you to change the value. Let's delete team group out of that. Just type in the letter ABC or something and click done. Let's run that and see what it does.
So trying the set text now. Is that what that?
Well, I'm just trying to see if we can, is it possible that our loop isn't adding these values in correct the way that we think they should be?
Okay. Let me do a quick clone. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, no worries.
If anything, I can always just go back to the emails. I just don't want to.
and we shouldn't, honestly, we shouldn't have to. It's just a matter of getting the right syntax, I think, in here to make this work.
And once you can help me here, I can do it in other places where I need to do it.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain we can get it to work.
Let's see if it works with me.
The hardest piece on some of this is that debugging of this is just creating a challenge for us because we don't have an easy way to test this. So,
well, it hit me with the same error that I did my counterpart. So
yeah.
I have to be an AM. Now I know.
We have 7 minutes to get it solved. No pressure.
Okay. Come on, something.
There's something in there. Okay, nothing. All right. Not even our original X, which is fascinating. Okay, so now let's try this. Let's go back to the flow. Let's change that assignment. And let's do a equals. Done. Run it again. I'm questioning if the add is not doing what we think it should be doing. Add a lot of the way I'm kind of questioning the add, it may be thinking that we're working with a collection, but I didn't think it would have even shown us that as an option if it didn't mean concatenating it together. So if this works with an equals and it at least gives us one set of ABCs in that description, then we at least know that we're writing something correctly. And then what I think we will do is we will modify our formula to be we'll add the current formula plus, actually we might we're just going to take the current value plus the new value to create the string. It'll make more sense, I think, when you see it, but
Mhm.
it's,
Heck, at this point, I really could just see if something shows up.
yeah, I agree. I don't think we need to have two in here because it's not going to matter. And some really smart flow person's probably going to watch this and think, why did you do it that way? Which is all good. I don't mind
Okay.
having people tell me there's a better way to do it. No, we didn't get anything there either.
Well, it took out my X.
It did, but it put
So that's
nothing
that
in it.
default value is emptying my description field.
Is there any chance that you've got any other automation on that description field that could be doing something to us? Okay.
No.
All right, let's go back to, I want to try one other approach in the last 4 minutes that we have. In our formula, if you can go to the team group formula. At the very beginning of that formula field, do before the quote, do an insert resource that is team group. So type team group and see if it shows up there. No space after team, it's, yep, team group text. Okay, and then do the and sign after the, there you go, perfect. And done. And let's now go back into the add team assignment. Equals team group. Done. Save, activate, and try it. Part of me thinks we should have probably looked at that update test that we did just to make sure we didn't miss something silly that's causing it not to update that description field, but
Okay.
we'll see if this method works. If nothing else, we're getting really good at editing these opportunities.
Okay. Nothing there.
It's still nothing.
Nothing there.
And nothing on, yeah, okay. The others of you that are on the call, are you seeing anything that we are obvious to you guys that might be helpful? You want to jump back over to the flow? Feel free to jump in if you see something. Let's look at that update test. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty much right. I'll hit cancel there. Thanks, Emily. And then let's see this has one of those things that I have to fix.
I mean, that's where I didn't know if I've seen it where they do an add here.
Yeah.
And then
you could, I mean, I think that what we've got there should work, but Yeah, and you are getting a chatter message created, right? It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
it's
it's
just
showing
missing this piece.
just the sales director and the owner and not any of the additional. So at least that part is working.
So let's go back to your text template.
Text template is the, nope, that's the variable.
It should be, oh, it's up from that one. That's what they mentioned. So we're getting the manager, we're getting the owner. It's just that piece is not showing up. So that part to me looks right too. Can you, instead of the split team, it's not gonna matter. Hit cancel. And we're gonna go over here and so my apologies for that. Are you still okay on time?
Oh yeah,
In the assignment, let's do this. Let's, and I technically am supposed to be in another meeting too, but let's try one more thing and then
okay.
what I might have you do is connect with me later if we don't get this, because I want to help you figure this out, because now I'm curious as to why it's not working. For the value, instead of team group, I want you to type current loop or loop in there, and you should get the current record, current item, and do user ID. Should all be all the way at the bottom. And equal, okay, and done. And save and try that. That should, in theory, and you can just add one other person on this one. It should,
Okay.
because we're not,
Right.
it's
So
just
this
going to
is
grab
something, then
whatever
we
the
should be
last one.
doing
Yeah,
pretty
that's where I'm at. I'm trying to, can I get something to pull into there? Because it may be that formula isn't going to be the right method to make this happen. But if I can get something to work, at least it gives me a direction to go.
Mhm.
Because right now we're stuck completely. And unfortunately, there's a problem. Let's see.
It's like, you've cloned me too many times. I'm getting upset.
Yeah, right.
Okay, split.
Now, in our get for that, what we're looping through, we had specific types of things that we were getting. Do we know that that our get statement is polling Ray?
As soon as they're added to the thing, they should be adding to the op team.
Yeah.
And so now we have,
Okay, you've got it. All right.
and then we
that's what
have
we're getting,
another
isn't it?
op split SD. So these are the two that
Okay.
we would be
Got
looking
it.
for.
So, and your entry
then-
criteria then for your flow is based off of the opportunity team.
Yeah. And so nothing.
Nothing there too.
Well, and this still clears out the default.
Yeah, and I kind of would expect that too, because I think we were writing that Well, no. All right, let's, I'm going to go ahead and close out our live stream. So, and it's just, it looks like the two of us that